So let's continue with our examples on how to factor using the distributive property. For example 4, I'm looking at 45x squared minus 15x. What is the largest number that would divide both 45 and 15? Hopefully you look at that and you're coming up with the answer of 15. And then when you look at the two terms, they each have an x to offer. So I'll put my x here. And then I simply have to ask, what would I multiply to get back to the original? So 15 times what takes me to 45? 3. X times x is x squared. And then I can go minus. 15 times what is 15? 1. And I already have the x. So here's where, again, we have that placeholder idea. If you have two terms, your parentheses should have two terms. We'll move up to example number 5. We look at this set. What do you think your largest number that will divide both of those would be? Again, I hope you're thinking 3, and they each had an x to offer, so I'm going to pull an x out. Then 3x times what produces 3x squared? 3 times 1 gives me 3, and x times x would be the x squared. It's okay if you have the 1 there, but you don't need it. And then in a similar way, 3 times what produces negative 9? Negative 3. And then I already have the x there. So this gives me a problem that if I were to distribute it, I would end up with that 3x squared minus 9x. And then we'll do an example 6 here. With example 6, we want to look at that and expect what divides 55, 22, and 11. Hopefully you're thinking 11. And so in my parentheses, now if you're thinking about the variables, they all didn't have an x to offer, so I couldn't pull that out. So I would put my parenthesis here. 11 times what gives me 55? 5. I would need the x squared. 11 times what gives me the negative 22? Negative 2. I need the x. And then 11 times what gives me 11? I would need that plus 1 as a placeholder. So it's like a broken record here. I saw 3 terms to begin with. I had to have 3 terms in my parentheses. As I look at what's in the parentheses, are they relatively prime? Because some of you are probably wondering, why didn't he pull out an x on those? They all didn't have an x to offer. That's why I had to leave those in there. And that's why this 1 was here all by itself. It had to be a placeholder for that generic 11. Hopefully that's good enough to give you an idea of how to do the factoring using the distributive property, also known as factoring using the greatest common factor. We'll look at some problems in class and go from there.